ziua, suntem la Mobile World Congress 2017.
Vă prezentăm pe telecomtv.ro cele mai noi lansări ale industriei.
Pleasure to be here together with representatives of regulators, operators and vendors. It just shows what tremendous momentum we have for 5G to make sure that the standards are there on time, interoperability are there on time, and we can have a timely launch. So let me take a few minutes to give you a flavor for what we're doing at Ericsson to make sure 5G is there. It's not only about the radio interface. We like to talk about that, but there are many other components as well. One thing being, of course, what should 5G be used for? We've seen already enhanced MBB, etc. It's part of it. We believe that also industries is a very important segment to cater for. We need to embrace that part, and we need to understand how can real-time critical control provided by 5G be there. As you can see in this slide, Ericsson is engaging with a number of worldwide leading industries in transportation, automation, manufacturing, car industry, in fact with the mining industry as well, as examples. The reason why we're here is not to educate these industries about 5G. It's the other way around. We want to be educated about their industries. We want to understand what do they need to transform their businesses and to use 3GPP technology as a key enabler for becoming more efficient, being able to address more business in the future. Now, one example you can see in the Ericsson Hall. That's together with King's College in the UK. We're doing a setup for remote surgery, where a doctor being remotely having a special glove can, with virtual reality, move over the body or the person who's then elsewhere. And in fact, even in the future, do perhaps even surgery. Real-time critical control is of course there, and it's very important that reliability is there as well. Please have a look at it. It's an open part of our hall. Everyone can go there and enjoy it if you wish. All over the world we are engaging. We're engaging with operators, with universities and other organizations. You can see some parts being represented here. Why do we do this? It's of course to drive the momentum of 5G, to learn from them, and also to validate the technology that we're having in there. So let me give you a few examples. Now, as we're doing this, we're doing it step by step. We started already with 5G in 2010, so we're well into the research and development of 5G. Starting with simple simulations, doing lab trials and so forth. Again, if you come into our hall, you can see now device trials coming about. Together with Intel, we're very proud and happy to show a trial system on 28 gigahertz, showing that already the technology is becoming smaller. Not small as a smartphone, but well in time for becoming very small as 5G is being launched. But again, it's not only the radio. Also, we have core aspects there. One being here, included here, the network slicing. Ericsson introduced the network slicing a few years ago. Now we're taking it even a step further, what we call the federated network slicing. This is the ability for an operator to define a slice for an industry segment. Let's say you as an operator address, let's say, a trucking company, and they require a certain SLA wherever they're driving about. Then, let's say this truck drives into another country. How can you ensure that they are receiving the right service? Well, with network federated slicing, you will de facto set up your own core network in a remote operator's cloud environment. So you will instantiate a part of your core network and set up a slice in a partner network to make sure you deliver the correct service to that customer of yours. And that's regardless of where in the world that customer happens to be. I think this is a good step forward to show end-to-end how new services can be enabled with 5G. We've done this together with SK Telecom, Deutsche Telekom, and proven it in real trial. We're also all over the world making trials. In China, there's a 5G technology trial. I think a very good program to validate and qualify technology components. That is a way to, again, focus on what should go in 5G and indeed what in the end what should go into our products. Also, we've seen already from Nakamura-san here, outside of Tokyo in Yokosuka, field trials being carried out with NTT Docomo, and I think in a macro environment showing surprisingly good results. Here at 15 megabits, 15 gigahertz carrying bandwidth, we're showing gigabits per second speed driving about. Likewise, another example with BMW and SK Telecom, we performed and likewise what Nakamura-san talked about, how does 5G support higher speeds? And driving around on a designated area, we had beamforming, following and tracking the cars, doing handover, and delivering again gigabits per second at sustained rates at over 170 kilometers an hour. And we've seen the time plan many times. Now, it's very simplified. I think Luke Iverson put it very well. Please, we do need to keep up the global momentum. It's crucial to support the early launches. I think 3GPP has done extraordinarily well, and it's very encouraging. We did come to a very good conclusion for the channel coding scheme that was agreeable to all partners in 3GPP. It shows the strength of 3GPP and how we can work, keep the time plan and take decisions. Very important now, of course, to keep the introduction of the work items in release 15 in order to ensure the timely launch. So to wrap it up, 5G certainly down the road, it's coming along. It will address new businesses. It will open up for new segments, industry segments to come in there. Technology validation, very well on track, I'd say. Device integration together with infrastructure. Standardization, moving along very well. Regulation, important as it moves around. We saw earlier the need to allocate spectrum. It's absolutely there. But also other regulation. I mentioned to you, we're working with a mining company. Is it necessary to use licensed spectrum in a mine? Perhaps not. Is that allowed for in markets? Perhaps not. So there are many aspects for regulation to consider as well. Industry applications will be there. Again, exemplified in our hall, you can have the pleasure to remotely drive a vehicle, and you can try out how haptic feedback, getting the sense and feel from the mobile network, how that works out when you're driving a real vehicle. And then of course on top of that, we have to smoothly evolve 4G to 5G and make sure the interoperability is there. And with all that in mind, I'd say 5G has all the chance to become again a world standard, embracing even more what we do with today's technology.